Live from the broadcasting house in the county of Nairobi, this is the great KBC, just in time for KBC Lunchtime News. Thank you indeed so much for joining us. My name is Bentro Njue. Byron Abuli will be my colleague handling the sign language interpretation for this live newscast. For comments, suggestions, or even where you are watching us from, kindly tweet us, send us a comment on the news of today. This is what my colleagues and I have been working on this morning. Time for the news. Uasin Gishu County Senator Jackson Mando, alongside two co-accused, have been released on a 500,000 shillings cash bail or 2 million shillings bond and a surety of a similar amount. Mando was this morning arraigned at the Nakuru Law Courts alongside Joshua Lelei and Mishak Rono in connection to the 1.1 billion shillings Finland scholarship program scandal. However, they did not take a plea following reports that the fourth suspect, Joseph Kipkemboi Maritim, had sneaked out of the country. As of ACK St. Philip's Korisai Parish at Malaba area in Busia County woke up to the shock of a robbery at the sanctuary where burglaries made away with goods worth 150,000 shillings. Reverend Gabriel Muzungu said the thugs broke through the window and made away with electronics and foodstuff from the vicarage, which were part of the Sunday offertory. The parish curate, Reverend Videlis Ekati, regretted that places of worship are being targeted by criminals.
About the incident.
Elsewhere, as the 10th Devolution Summit is underway in Uasin Gishu County, a section of Kajiado and Narok MPs say there is not so much to celebrate among the pastoral communities. The lawmakers argue that devolution has failed to empower marginalized communities. The leaders observed that many locals in the area, such as Kajiado, continue to grapple with a myriad of challenges despite the allocation of funds to the county.
Devolution was meant to bring money down to the people at the grassroots. The Maasai community is as was 10 years before devolution, or even worse off now. Worse off because of climate change. Where is the money that we receive in Kajiado going to?
Tunataka tu kuambia hata magavana wetu wajibike, because kuna pesa mingi ambazo zinatumwa katika county devolve unit, na mara mingi matumizi ya hizo pesa atuoni katika ground.
To education now, where the Kenyan National Union of Teachers (NAT) is urging the government to give it a greater say in the implementation of the new education system. Speaking during the by-elections in Gucha following the retirement of former branch office holders, Assistant National Treasurer Kulo Mohammed said the Teachers Union fully endorses the proposed education reforms. The union also praised the relocation of grade 1 through 9 to primary schools, the Education Ministry's payment of allowances, and the acquisition of medical insurance coverage.
Working party on education reforms. So far they have given us the report. It is in public domain, and we are happy with that report as a union, because a lot of issues that were previously handled singly by the Teacher Service Commission are now coming out to be shared between the Teacher Service Commission and the Ministry of Education.
And at least 30 self-help groups in Kisumu Central Sub-County received financial support from the Office of the Kisumu County Women Representative in an initiative geared towards empowering women and youth in the Lakeside County. Cumulatively, 158 such groups have so far benefited from the program since its launch 3 weeks ago. The capital boost ranges between 30 and 100,000 shillings. Have expressed appreciation towards the initiative.
Kwa saa hii tumefurahi sana, pesa tumepewa 50,000 ili tuende tuinuane kibiashara.
We are telling them this is not money that they are supposed to go and divide amongst themselves and just disappear like that. This is money that is like a seed money that we want them to pump into their businesses, to pump into their table banking, so that in some few months we are in a position to come and evaluate in those groups how they are faring on.
Still on women empowerment, the Forum of Africa Women Educationalists Kenya chapter has formally launched a campaign dubbed I Care About Her under the program Imarisha Msichana that aims to address barriers affecting girls' education. Teresa Otieno, Chief Executive Officer FAWE, said the initiative has been implemented in 20 counties across Kenya. Through the campaign, communities and especially men and boys are being sensitized on the need to combat gender-based violence and other retrogressive cultural practices in the society.
The Boda associations have also made commitments, plus the teachers and also the students who have been trained today, to participate in addressing child marriage and to push for the campaign so that we can significantly reduce incidences of teenage pregnancy in Kenya.
This campaign is coming actually at the right time, and being guided by the recommendations of the VAC survey of 2019. It is going to be a big milestone in combating issues of violence against boys and girls.
Shift gears now to matter security, and police in Garissa County are holding one person in connection to the killing of 6 people on Wednesday in Bukureu area within Garissa Township. The person is suspected to be among the armed men numbering between 5 to 8 who stopped a vehicle that was headed to the border town of Hologu and ordered the 8 occupants out of the vehicle between demanding that they identify their clans. They then shot 6 of them dead, among them 2 high school students who were going home for the holidays.
Ya kwamba tutawashaka, tutawatafuta pahali popote ule, hata ikiwa wameingia ndani ya maji, ikiwa wamejificha wapi, juu chini, tutahakikisha ya kwamba sheria imewashughulikia.
From Garissa to Embu, where the members of the county assembly in the county have approved a 7.7 billion shillings county budget estimate for the fiscal year 2023-2024. According to the County Assembly Budget Committee Chairman Musangi Mwariama, the health sector has been allocated the biggest portion at 30%. Doreen Arange with the details.
The budgetary appropriations for the 7.7 billion shillings budget estimates for the fiscal year 2023-2024 approved by Embu MCAs include conditional grants totaling to 8.1 million shillings for the transfer of library services, 110.6 million shillings for the leasing of medical equipment, 69.6 million shillings for the National Agriculture and Rural Inclusive Growth Project, 250 million shillings for the National Agricultural Value Chain Development Project, and 3.4 million shillings for the Agriculture Sector Development Support Program.
Kwa hii bilioni 7 milioni 700, 32% ambayo ni kama bilioni 2.9 ikielekea bilioni 3, hiyo ndio inaenda kwa development ama kwa maendeleo ya kila siku.
At the same time, the County Assembly Budget Committee Chairman Mushagi Mwariama has challenged fellow MCAs to support the county government in collecting revenue by coming up with innovative ways to enhance tax collection.
Tuweze kuokota ushuru zaidi. Lazima kila mtu ajivunie kuwa wa Embu County. Ambapo kama uko na biashara, kumbuka kuna sheria ambayo inakuruhusu wewe kulipa ushuru. Hiyo ni ya kwanza. Kwa hivyo tujitolee kulipa ushuru.
Kiambere MCA Lenny Masters called on the executive to ensure that budget appropriations are followed to the letter and ensure 15 million shillings allocated as emergency fund is utilized to cushion vulnerable residents.
Budget tumeweka emergency fund about 15 million ambapo itaweza kuangalia maneno kama yale, kama nija mheshimiwa governor aweze kupitisha pesa kutoka ile kiwango tumetenga pale inunuliwe watu wa chini chakula.
MCAs will benefit from Ward Development Fund set at 20 million shillings per ward. Doreen Arange for Lunchtime News.
All right, after yesterday, President William Ruto officially opened the 8th Devolution Conference in the City of Champions, Eldoret in Uasin Gishu County. We now cross over to Simon Achola, who has been keeping tabs with what is currently happening today. Achola, Simon, over to you.
Indeed, we are still keeping tabs with what is happening here at this year's Devolution Conference that is actually underway at Eldoret Sports Clubs here in Uasin Gishu County. And of course, there have been a number of discussions since today. We had the Cabinet Secretary for ICT and of course line departments having a discussion on how, of course, they can leverage on IT in terms of ensuring that functions at the county level are actually fully functional, but also we are expecting the former Prime Minister and Opposition Chief Raila Amolo Odinga to step in from any time from now, and of course he'll be discussing matters devolution. He's been christened the father of devolution in the country, and of course people will be keen to listen on what he'll be stating about the gains that have actually been made in terms of devolution for the last 10 years, the challenges, and of course moving forward what needs to be done so that then of course this devolution can actually work. But as I speak to you right now, I am with His Excellency the Governor of Turkana County, who will be of course shedding more light on exactly what is happening. Of course, first his thoughts on devolution in the last 10 years, but also his thoughts on what needs to be done in terms of ensuring that devolution indeed can actually work for the people and more so marginalized communities in the country. Karibu Mheshimiwa. Just going straight into it, the last 10 years, of course, devolution has done quite a lot. And coming from a far-flung area like Turkana, you must be having a lot to say about devolution.
Okay, I want to take this opportunity first to appreciate the organizers of this devolution conference, starting with our COG and also the partners, many ambassadors, the Netherlands, the American, and others, including the Israeli ambassador. I think devolution was one of the best ideas ever thought by the Kenyan leadership and even the Kenyan people. Turkana County being one of the marginalized areas in Kenya, I think devolution has taken as a notch eye. Many years Turkana has always been in the pictures as a county prone of anger, a county that there is nothing really good to count. But now if you go to Turkana this particular time, devolution has really given us another face. And people now take us in a very positive manner, unlike before. We are doing very well on issues of health. In fact, even in terms of rating, if you visit, because I wish this was done in our county, so that you assess the infrastructure that we put in place, including the modern equipment, including even the availability of the medicine, the expansion of infrastructure across the vast area of Turkana County. On water, which has always been an issue, I think we are doing very well. If you go to Turkana and majorly even at our municipality areas, which previously had issues of water, poor management by Lowasco and others, people can give you a lot of good stories about what we have done in the 11 or even 1 year that we have served in this government. I think we have come here now to celebrate the achievement we've made in 10 years, which to me is paramount and so big. And we want even the leadership of Kenya, including even the President of the Republic of Kenya, to really support devolution. And I want to thank him because for the first time in history, our counties got the entire allocation that was expected for our counties for the first time. And every governor, every person in Kenya is so appreciative that how did it happen? It means the president really wants this time around to support devolution.
Being done. But Governor, you've rightly put it that Turkana County is one of the initially marginalized counties in the country. But one debate that constantly keeps coming on the lips of the people is the fact that we keep relying on the national bread that comes from the national office, which is, of course, limited, that cannot satiate the appetite of each and every person in the country. The question that begs is that how then do we move forward to ensure that indeed we generate
Achala Simon there engaging some of the delegates there in Uasin Gishu for the 8th Devolution Conference. In the morning they had a roundtable discussion on empowering devolution. He will be coming a little bit later with a comprehensive report. We now cross over to Kiambu County where the president is having an official visit there. Let's first of all have a listen. All right, on your screen is President William Ruto, who is having an official visit today. Earlier on, the governor had addressed the gathering there. Remember, yesterday the president did give a stern warning on public officers in matters corruption. And as soon as we have a clear feed on that report, we will be crossing over to Kiambu County to have a listen on what the head of state is talking about. But in the meanwhile, 100 patients have benefited from free cataract surgery and 800 free eye checkups in Nanyuki, Laikipia County, courtesy of the Lions Sight First Eye Hospital. The 3-day eye clinic conducted at the Nanyuki Matano and Nursing Home also saw the distribution of eyeglasses and medicine to the beneficiaries. Nanyuki Matano and Nursing Home proprietor Dr. Somba Kivungu said that the eye cataract was a major contributor to blindness and common among those aged above 60 years.
Mnajua macho ni kitu ya muhimu sana because one of the essential organs. Bila macho mtu hawezi kufanya chochote. Ningehimiza watu ambao mara kwa mara wafanye matibabu ya kuangaliwa macho kwa sababu ukipoteza macho sasa inakuwa ni shida mingi sana.
Now, 66 chiefs from Busia County have been trained on handling sexual and gender-based violence cases in the area of their jurisdictions. Speaking during the training, Busia County Commissioner Kipchumba Ruto noted that cases of sexual and gender-based violence were on the rise in the county and urged chiefs to help fight the vices. Mary Makoha, the founder of Ruto Education and Economic Empowerment Program, regretted that many defilement and rape cases have not been reported or resolved at family levels, denying the victims justice.
As a woman, I cannot forget men. We are going to ensure that we report. Very many men are being beaten by women, but they don't report. We will ensure that we empower them. We make them know that they should report.
Chiefs are very important because they are at the community, and in case a defilement occurs, the chief is most likely the first person that the survivor or her family will report to.
mwaka huu peke yake hadi sasa hivi tuna kesi karibu 29 ambazo ni mpya, alafu zile ambazo zilikuwepo tangu mwaka 2020 ni zaidi ya kesi 500. Tunaongelea 574. Kwa hivyo unaona kwamba vile visa ambavyo vinatendeka kwenye jamii na vile visa ambavyo vinaendelea kotini kuna utofauti mkubwa, ambapo inaonyesha kwamba kuna kesi ambazo hazifiki kotini.
We have done this before. Busia was rampant on mothers' gender-based violence, but through the courtesy of RIP, an NGO or a non-state actor in Busia, and other state actors like Equality Now, they have come together to train the chiefs so that they will be capacitated to fight the menace of gender-based violence within our county.
The majority of the people who are sexually abused. Si hata wanaume wanakuwa sexually abused. Tumesikia hata now the boy child.
From that report, as I had mentioned earlier, is that President William Ruto is in Kiambu. Let's first of all listen in.
On a Friday to come and open this cathedral. Mimi sikusema yeye ndiye alisema. Alisema ile ingine iliangushwa Wednesday, sasa tumekujia hii Thursday, hiyo ingine tutakuja kumalizia Friday. So tutakuja, we will come. And I am confident that we are going to overcome and we are going to build this cathedral together. Nataka pia niwashukuru kwa kazi mnayofanya, hasa kama viongozi wetu wa kanisa. You've spoken to us as a leader na umetuuliza mambo mengi ya vile tunaweza, wakati tunangojea kwenda mbinguni, pia tufanye bidii hapa duniani. Na umesema uendi kwa haraka, hata mimi siendi kwa haraka, bado niko area. Na watu wengi hapa bado wako na hali hiyo hiyo. Si ndio? Si bado tuko mpaka Yesu afike. So na wakati tunapanga hiyo mpango, lazima tupange mambo mengine ya kutusaidia hapa duniani. Ya kwanza ningependa kusema ni kwamba tumekubaliana na county government yetu ya Kiambu katika ile mpango yetu ya mambo ya housing. Mumesikia vile Wamatangi amesema tuko na 10 different sites. The first 10,000 houses kandarasi tumepatiana, na tunahitaji vijana karibu 20,000 watakao tusaidia katika kuendesha hiyo mpango. Nilikuwa Thika nika launch program ya kwanza, zile zingine zitaendelea, zingine nitamtuma deputy president akuja azianzishe, zingine watu wengine, kwa sababu hapa Kiambu mpango yetu ni manyumba 50,000 in our first phase. Na ni kwa sababu tunataka vijana wetu badala ya kuingia kwa madawa na ulevi wapate ajira, wajishughulishe na kujenga Kiambu na kujenga taifa letu la Kenya. Ya pili, tuko na mambo mengi ya barabara. Tulikuwa na barabara dual carriageway ambaye inakuja sehemu hii, na mimi nataka niwahakikishie niko na safari kidogo nitafanya, lakini kuanzia mwezi wa 10 hiyo barabara tutaanza kuijenga, because tunataka access ya kwenda Nairobi iwe ni barabara ambayo inakuwa kwa upana ya kutosha. Huyu Mashua amekuwa akiniharakisha kila wakati kuja kuniambia hii maneno imefika wapi. Sasa nimekujibu kanisani, na unajua mambo yanasemwa kanisani ni ya ukweli. So just relax, bwana Mashua. Tuko na kazi zingine nyingi kwa sababu tunataka kujenga msingi wa muhimu. Niliwaeleza ya kwamba tutatatua matatizo yale yalikuweko kwa mambo ya masomo ya watoto wetu. Ile CBC ilikuwa inatupatia changamoto, mambo mengine tumeketi chini na stakeholders tumekubaliana. Sasa watoto wetu tumeweka taratibu vile watasoma bila matatizo, na vile vile tumekuwa na changamoto ya walimu. Mimi nataka niwaeleze sasa, kwa miezi 8 imepita tumeajiri walimu
56,000 watakao tusaidia kusomesha watoto wetu katika taifa letu la Kenya. Vile vile tumekubaliana vile tutasomesha watoto wetu katika TVET, katika university. Ndio Kenya yetu hii ambayo tunafurahia the human capital we have, tuweze kujenga vizuri, we sharpen it properly so that we can use our human capital to drive our own progress and our own development. So tuko katika hiyo hali, na mimi nataka niwahakikishia kwamba hiyo kazi tunashirikiana na viongozi wote. Vile vile askofu amesema mambo ya matibabu. Let me confirm that we have now concluded the plan on universal health coverage. Mwezi wa 10 tumekubaliana na huyu wa Matangi ya kwamba community health promoters, vile askofu alisema, wale wa kupima sukari, wale wa kupima pressure, sasa utahitaji kwenda hospitali, tutakuwa tunakupima nyumbani. Tumesema kila nyumba 100 tutakuwa na muuguzi mmoja anaitwa community health promoter ambaye atakuwa anafanya hiyo kazi mashinani, because we want to make health truly bottom up. Na vile vile niliwaahidi, sasa sheria tumepeleka bungeni, tunabadilisha ile malipo ya NHIF ambayo niliwaambia wale wanalipa 500, tumebadilisha sasa watakuwa wanalipa 300. Alafu wale wengine kama mimi wa Matangi hapa na hawa wadosi tutalipa zaidi. Ndio sasa, kwa sababu kila mtu alipe kulingana na uwezo mwenye yako naye. Sisi ambao tuko na uwezo kiasi, we will pay more. Wale wako ambao uwezo wao uko chini, they will pay less, and we will all move together. Vile vile nataka niwatangazie ya kwamba nimekutana juzi Jumatatu na provincial administration leadership, wale regional commissioners na wale wengine wote, kwa mambo 3 ya muhimu. Ya kwanza ni kwa mambo ya kupigana na madawa ya kulevya na pombe. Vile askofu amesema, and Bishop, you can count on our support in making sure that we eliminate matatizo ambayo tuko nayo ya madawa ya kulevya, vile vile na hasara pombe inatuletea hasa kwa vijana wetu. Ya pili, katika ile mpango yetu ya wazee, walemavu na wale wengine mayatima, tumefungua registration mpya. Tunajua kuna wazee wengi wametimiza miaka 70, lakini for the last 4 years hawajasajiliwa. Tunaanza kuanzia tarehe 1, ili kuanzia January next year tutakuwa tumesajili watu wengine karibu 1500 ambao tutawaweka katika cash transfer, tuweze kuwashughulikia watu wanyonge walioko katika miongoni mwetu. Na pia vile niliahidi wakati wa uchaguzi, nimesema pesa ya hawa wazee na walemavu na watu mayatima ambayo ilikuwa inalipwa baada ya miezi 4, miezi 5, saa zingine miezi 6, sasa kuanzia mwezi huu tulilipa kabla hatujalipa mishahara ya wafanyikazi wa serikali. Na hivyo ndivyo itakavyokuwa sasa. We are going to make sure that the vulnerable, wale wazee wa miaka 70 na kusonga mbele na wale wengine tutawashughulikia, because they need support more than anybody else. Na ndio watu hawa provincial administration wataendelea hivyo. Na ya tatu, tulifanya kusajili wakulima, kwa sababu tunataka kutumia kilimo kuondoa aibu ya njaa. Na nilisema hivyo. Mimi nataka niseme ya kwamba kuanzia tena wakati huu we are going to tulisajili mapema mwaka huu, tukapata wakulima karibu 500,000, lakini kuna wengine hatukuwapata. So tunataka kumobilize. Bishop utatusaidia kanisani pia kueleza Wakristo wakulima wajisajili, ndio tuwe na register, ndio tuwapatie mbolea, watusaidie kuzalisha chakula, wazalishe cash crops, tupate chakula, tuondoe njaa na tuweke pesa katika mifuko yetu, tufukuze umaskini. That is our plan. Mimi nataka nishukuru wakulima wetu kwamba mwaka huu kwa sababu ya mpango tuliweka, na mpango yetu ilikuwa 3. Mpango ya kwanza ilikuwa na maombi kwa Mungu. Tulienda pale Nyayo Stadium tukaomba, wengine wakatuchekelea. Tukasema mpango yetu ya pili ni kuhakikisha kwamba tunapunguza gharama ya mbolea. Ile mbolea ilikuwa inaiswa 7,000, sasa tumefikisha 2,500. Na tunasambaza kwa wakulima wote. Na kwa sababu Mungu alitubarikia na mvua mwaka huu, na tukapatiana mbolea, wakulima kwa sababu ni wazalendo, wamelima kuzidi ile walilima mwaka uliopita, wamelima ekari 1,200 mpya. Na tukiketi hapa kanisani, hata yale magazeti, unajua magazeti wamekuwa wakitulima sana, sijui nini. Nimeona leo headline ya gazeti ya leo, wao wenyewe wamekubali bei ya chakula imeanza kurudi chini. Pengine Jimmy angeenda asome hapo kwa gazeti, sio mimi. Gazeti ile magazeti haituungi mkono, wao wenyewe wameanza kusema bei ya chakula imeanza kurudi chini. Na ni kwa sababu tuko na mpango. Na mimi nataka niwahakikishie Wakenya ya kwamba mwaka uliopita tulivuna magunia milioni 44 kwa sababu wakulima hawakuweza kugharamia bei ya mbolea ambayo ilikuwa juu sana. Lakini mwaka huu kwa sababu tumeweka mpango mzuri, tumepunguza gharama ya mbolea. The harvest we are expecting ambayo imeanza kuja, we are expecting to go up from 44 million bags to 61 million bags. Na mpango yetu ni kwamba mwaka ujao, na ndio mnasikia mimi nawaambia wakulima wote wajisajili, tunataka ile mbolea tulipatiana mwaka huu ni milioni 3, magunia milioni 3.5, 3.5 million bags. Next year tunataka kupatiana magunia milioni 6.5. We want to add another 3 million bags kwa sababu hii shida ya njaa lazima tuimalize kikamilifu katika taifa letu la Kenya. Ni jambo la aibu sana kwamba taifa miaka 60 baada ya uhuru bado kuna watu wanalala njaa. It is the biggest shame we can have as a nation and we must deal with it with finality. Na hiyo ndio mpango tuko naye. So nawashukuru sana wakulima, watu wazalendo wamefanya bidii na tutashirikiana hivyo. Hapa Kiambu nyinyi ni watu wa bidii. Najua nyinyi ndio watu wa maziwa mbele. And I want to promise you, tushaongea na county government, tuko na mpango ya kuimprove mambo yenu ya maziwa. Tuko na milk coolers ambayo itasaidia nyinyi in the quality of milk. Hapa Kiambu tutawapatia milk coolers before the end of the year 35 mpya ambayo tutajaribu kuweka kwa kila ward. Na bei hii ya maziwa tunaifanyia hesabu. Haiwezekani kwamba maziwa bei ya maji inazidi bei ya maziwa. Iko maneno hapo Kiswahili mingi, lazima tutatue, si ndio? So hiyo iko mezani, tunafanyia ukarabati. Ile kitu mimi nataka niwahakikishie pia ni kwamba mbegu ya ng'ombe zetu sasa tumeweka pesa ya kutosha kama serikali, na tumebadilisha sheria katika ile finance bill. Sasa tumesema vaccines, madawa ya ng'ombe, mbegu ya ng'ombe, tumeondoa ushuru, tumeondoa VAT, tumeondoa duty, ndio ikuje bei ya chini, ndio tuweze kuzalisha ng'ombe ambayo inatoshana na kutupatia maziwa na ya nyama. Na ile sexed semen ambayo tumekuwa tukinunua 10,000, 12,000, sasa tumefanya mpango kamili. Sasa tutakuwa tunauza shilingi 3,000 ile sexed semen. We've reduced it by almost 3 times. Na ile ingine ya kawaida tumeweka bei mzuri ya karibu 250 hivi. Wamatangi anajua hiyo kazi, na tunataka tusukumane na hiyo kazi pamoja. So tuko na mpango maalum ya kupeleka taifa letu la Kenya mbele na kuhakikisha kwamba tunabadilisha Kenya. We have a historic opportunity as a nation to change the destiny of Kenya. Na mimi nataka niwahakikishie hiyo kazi tutafanya na bidii. Wale ambao wanatukosoa mara nyingine, sijaona mpango yao. Nimeona mpango yao ati ya kupunguza gharama ya maisha ni kuweka sufuria kwa kichwa. Sasa nimejiuliza, hii sufuria kwa kichwa itapunguza gharama ya maisha kwa njia gani? Sijaambiwa, bado nangoja majibu. So mimi sitaki kusema sana. Nimefurahi kufika hapa kanisani. I want to promise you mambo ya housing nitakuja mwenyewe, nitatumana sehemu zingine tufanye pamoja. Community health promoter na mambo ya universal health, masomo ya watoto wetu, mambo ya ajira ya vijana wa taifa letu la Kenya. Tumekubaliana na huyu Mashua na wabunge wenzake kwamba kila ward tutakuwa na ICT hub, mahali tunataka vijana wetu tuwapangie ajira kwa mtandao. Tuko na the best human capital in the whole world. The best human capital. Sio mimi nimesema, watu wa Marekani wanasema, wa Ujerumani wanasema, na tunataka kutumia hiyo human capital to grow our economy, to grow our incomes and to create opportunities for our young people. Tupeleke Kenya hii taifa letu la Kenya mbele. So mimi nawashukuru sana kwa kutukaribisha hapa Kiambu. Tutakuja tena na tena na tena, na ile kitu mimi nataka tu niwahakikishie ni kwamba hatutawaangusha. Hii kazi tutafanya mpaka mshangae. We're going to turn around this country. Nyinyi mmesikia vile nimesema kuhusu mambo ya madeni, kukopa left, right, center, mbele, nyuma. Hiyo nimesema haitaendelea, na nimekata mambo ya kukopa madeni by a huge margin. Na ndio mimi nakubaliana na askofu kwamba kama nchi hatuwezi kuendelea kukuza uchumi wetu kwa madeni. Tutakuza uchumi wetu kwa revenue ambayo sisi wa Kenya tutatoa, tuweze kupeleka Kenya mbele. We have done two fundamental things. Number one, tumebadilisha mambo ya NSSF. Sasa ile pesa tulikusanya in 60 years, almost 350 billion, we are going to double it in 4 years because of the new model of funding in NSSF. So we have a credible plan on how to raise resources that will underpin our development and drive our progress as a nation. Nakushukuru sana askofu. Nimesikia ulisema tukiongeza mazao shambani ya maziwa, tithe itaongezeka na mambo yako itakuwa sawa. Na mimi nataka kuambia pia mambo hiyo yote ikiwa mzuri, sio tithe peke yake itaongezeka, hata taxes pia itaongezeka, na hata mimi nitakuwa sawa, nitakuwa napanga mambo ya Kenya. Sindio? That's why growing our economy is central to our progress. It's good for the church, it's also good for the government. Sindio? So tutashirikiana pamoja askofu in that manner. Na kumalizia vile askofu wetu ametuambia na ametu-encourage ya kwamba tuwe na imani. We must love our country. It is the only country we have. We must work for it. Na askofu amenisema kitu ya muhimu sana. Ameniambia tutalipa ushuru, lakini sindio, hatutaki pesa yetu iibiwe na watu pale kwa ufisadi na ukora na matendapreneurs na wengine. Mimi nataka nikuhakikishie Bishop, pale Kasarani nilipatiwa Biblia, nikapatiwa katiba, na pia nilipatiwa upanga. Hii upanga hii ni ya kufyeka hawa wafisadi wote na wakora wote. Hiyo I will not spare them. Si namna hiyo. So mkilipa ushuru nyinyi mniulize. Ikitumika vibaya I will answer. Si ndio? Mimi ndio ndajibu kwa sababu mimi ndio nimeuliza. Na I want to promise you mambo ya ufisadi watatafuta vile waskofu aliwaambia wale walevi waokoke ama wahame. Hata mimi nawaambia wafisadi wabadilike ama wahame Kenya, because we will not allow them. Sijui kama tumekubaliana. So nimeshukuru sana. Najua askofu aliniambia nilete simiti. Nimelete shilingi 5 milioni leo. Na kwa ile harambee ya tarehe 5 mwezi wa Novemba, huyo chairman amesema ya kwamba siku hizi sina kizuizi. So bwana chairman, nitakutumia shilingi 10 milioni ya hiyo harambee. Nitatafuta mtu wa kutuma, pengine nitatumana ule rigiji, ule mtu wa kusema ukweli. Ama nitatafuta mtu mwingine hapo katikati akikosa nafasi, lakini ile sitatumana ni ile ya August next year. Hiyo nitakuja mwenyewe. Si ndio? Kwa sababu bishop ametoa amri. Alinisaidia sana. Unajua hii ya tarehe 5 hakusema nikuje, ningepata matatizo ya kukosa kukuja. So hii ya chairman hapo I can afford to naweza kuhepa ya chairman. So otherwise, lakini Mungu akinipatia nafasi I will come also. So otherwise nataka niseme asante sana. I don't know whether there is anything else I'm supposed to do. Mungu awabariki sana na watakia baraka ya Mungu. Mwathani amurathime.
The head of state live in Kiambu, actually at the Mount Kenya South Diocesan Grand Cathedral, Kiambu town there. But without diluting his speech, he has mentioned a number of things that he is working on, and especially for the farmers, that he will ensure that 3 more million bags of fertilizer are accorded and afforded for the farmers, going for the 2,500 shillings. Not only that, in the housing projects, he's talking about 10,000 units in Kiambu and talking about creating jobs for about 20,000 youths beyond. And of course, there is the dual carriage highway that will be constructed beginning the month of October. That is next month, but one that will ease transportation in the region. He has underscored, just like he said yesterday in Eldoret, that corrupt public officers have no room in his government. We'll be having more. Giverson Maina is keeping tabs with what the president is talking about today in our subsequent bulletin. And still in Kiambu, the police commander in Lari constituency, Embu County, Adamson Furaha, has warned residents against engaging in cultivation of cannabis in their compounds. He was addressing the media at Uplands police station following the arrest of a person who had intercropped maize and bang in his compound a few kilometers from the police station. Furaha lauded the Nyumba Kumi security initiative for providing information on illegal activities in their neighborhoods.
Tumekuja kuamini kwamba hata iko uwezekano kwamba kuna wengine wengi wanapanda hii bangi kwa maboma yao ama kwa mashamba yao. So bado tunaendelea na hiyo uchunguzi, na nadhani tutamaliza hiyo mambo ya mihadarati hapa sababu kaunti ya Lari. Penda tu kuwahimiza wazee wa vijiji na wananchi kwa jumla, wakipata habari yoyote ama wakipata mtu yoyote mwenye ako na hiyo mihadarati ama anauza, atusaidie na kupatia hiyo information kama vile huyu alitusaidia na tumefanikiwa.
Elsewhere, the Kenya Red Cross Society says it is reviewing its level of preparedness to handle incidences similar to the Shakahola massacre. Speaking at the Malindi Sub-County Mortuary, Secretary General Ahmed Idris said the organization is working with the government to provide the necessary support to communities hit by such calamities. The organization donated a temporary container used to preserve some of the bodies of the victims of the religious cult.
We've put in a temporary morgue facility that has been in place for the last couple of weeks to support the existing morgue facility. We will expand this in the coming days in consultation with the government to be able to create space to allow for the identification of the bodies. And at the end of the day, whatever kind of support that will be needed at the morgue between now and when this operation is closed, we'll have close liaison with the government to be able to provide any kind of support that we will.
We don't contaminate.
Let's now make sense of business. President William Ruto has called for more reforms in the international financial system to boost investor confidence in Africa. The president said the current financial system has profiled developing countries, portraying the countries as risky for investment, further disenfranchising the global south.
President William Ruto says improved access to affordable development financing will help Africa to revamp its infrastructure, deepen integration, and spur intra-continental trade.
Our position is that there is something the current international financial institutions can learn from China. For example, scale and speed. Maybe there is something China can also learn from our current international institution. But we are saying there needs to be a conversation. We need a conversation that makes all of us winners.
Ruto says there is need to de-risk Africa through reforms in the international financial system to boost investor confidence in the continent.
Although data speaks a different language, data shows that investments in our region are not as risky as they are being profiled. So in fact, this profiling of our region as a risky destination is a conspiracy.
Africa governments have been urged to take bold steps to claim the continent's fair share in international trade. President Ruto called on more investments in the green energy to mitigate against climate change.
This is the continent that has renewable energy resources. This is the continent that has 2/3 of the world's arable uncultivated land. This is the youngest continent. So we have real assets that has the potential to make Africa central to what happens globally going into the future. And that is why integration is front and center, left and right in us going forward.
Beatrice Gatonyengetich, Channel 1, Lunchtime News.
The Cooperative Bank has reported a 16.4 billion shillings half-year profit. The growth was driven by an increased loan book that grew to 365.4 billion shillings, representing 10.7% year-on-year increase. Frederick Moki with the statistics.
uptake of loans by Cooperative Bank customers increased this year by 10.1% compared to the same period last year. Net loans and advances grew to 365.4 billion shillings from 330.1 billion shillings. Its net interest income grew by 2.3% from 21.1 billion shillings to 21.5 billion shillings. Total non-interest income grew by 4.0% from 13.3 billion shillings to 13.8 billion shillings. Customer deposits registered a growth of 9.7% from 423.0 billion shillings to 463.9 billion. Meanwhile, the shareholders' funds have grown to 108.3 billion shillings, an 11.9% increase from 96.7 billion in 2022. According to its financial report, over 185,000 customers have taken up the MSME packages rolled out in 2018, and 38,000 have been trained on business management skills. Year to date, the bank has disbursed 11.7 billion shillings to MSMEs. This is attributed to the bank's external funds from development partners. Frederick Muki for Lunchtime News.
Well, and on that ledger by the Cooperative Bank report by Frederick Mwoki, we are taking a quick break, but we'll be right back. We still have more news.
My name is Rotich Ferguson, 800 meters. I'm going to Budapest. I expect to do my best. And what I'll urge Kenyans is to keep praying for us as a team, and everything will be okay.
Shamsa mke wa Zito. Zito linaniambia kuwa hana mke, mimi sitaki kujua.
Kiza Jamal. Shamsa is my wife. Achana naye, sawa?
Zito. Kufa kuzikana.
Zuri. Zuri.
This August on Magical Scenes.
A big number of wildlife migration than there before. It started on the 14th of July.
So I can tell you that the season is looking pretty good.
A combination of wildlife and cultural tourism.
Sasa ni culture yanaonyesha nguo ya Maasai.
Magical Scenes only on KBC Channel 1.
Ingo FM fans in Kakamega, are you ready? Ingo FM and Y254 have organized a Meet the Fans tour on 25th and 26th August 2023. On Friday, 25th August, join us at Butere Boys High School, where the Baraza Foundation has organized sports activities including a football match pitting Kakamega Homeboys versus Butere combined. In the evening, join us as we witness the crowning of Mr. and Miss Butere live from Charlie 037 Resort. These events will be covered by Y254 and Ingo FM. On Saturday, 26th August, our team shall visit Noah Yale Children's Home, where we shall donate dignity packs. And the climax of our Kakamega tour will be the launch of Ingo FM Mashabi Club at Bondeni Primary School. Don't miss out. All are welcome.
Welcome back and thanks for keeping me company. You will now be able to make purchases and payments online for medical supplies and services including medicine. This follows a partnership agreement Source Group that will connect pharmacies to SasaPay's payment platforms. SasaPay Deputy CEO and Chief Operating Officer Daniel Njoroge says this is expected to increase service delivery and cut down payment delays.
Been identified as a key pillar for economic growth. However, delays in payment for services rendered or even sought has threatened the sector, forcing some to shut their doors.
And this partnership could not have been, it came at the very right time, because we have been looking at ensuring people are getting better health care. And now the question therefore comes in, how do we enable the world, the ecosystems, the people?
As such, players are now leveraging on technology to remedy this.
Money flowing from one service provider or a financial institution to another service provider. This is how we are trying to create an ecosystem where there is ease of payment access, there is credit, and there's patient flow that comes in.
The payments technology is designed for the healthcare industry to simplify processes and reduce costs for hospitals, pharmacies, health system providers, clinics, consultants, and other players in the sector.
MedSource has done a fantastic job in aggregating many businesses, many people who are in the medical space. SasaPay now comes in to ensure the payments are happening seamlessly.
Daniel Njoroge says this will accelerate revenue cycle and boost customer satisfaction. The two partner organizations have begun a phased rollout with SasaPay and listing MedSource as a premium healthcare provider on their platform SasaPay app.
Mining operations in Komire, Rongo constituency have commenced after miners, the road contractor and the county government agreed on modalities that will guide mining operations. Migori County Commissioner David Gitonga says mining and the road construction will continue as per the agreement. New schedule with miners granted limited access to the construction sites.
Of the Isibania Migori Kisii Road is set to commence after close to a 2 weeks break. Construction activities was interrupted after area residents started digging sections of the road under construction in search of gold.
We were able to identify the area where the mineral is, and we agreed the contractor will continue extracting gravels, and also the local people from Komire will benefit from the minerals which was found there.
Stakeholders, including government officials, have drawn a work plan that will see both mining and construction of the road commence.
We had an arrangement in which the contractor would work from morning to 3 p.m. Then the local community will get in with their shovels and extract some rich minerals.
According to the schedule, the locals will be granted access to the construction site, but will be restricted to 3 meters from the roads. Edna Murungi for Lunchtime News.
Now, traders across Embu County are set to benefit from the construction of 6 new modern markets aimed at creating a conducive working environment and providing a ready market for farmers' produce. Embu Chief Executive in charge of Physical Planning and Urban Development, Raymond Kenywa, hailed the development as a good step in reducing poverty and employment creation.
The Economic Stimulus Program market that started in 2007 but stalled are expected to boost economic activities across the country as farmers and traders can capitalize on their hard work and earn a living. Construction of 2 markets are already underway, including the ultra-modern Embu Town Market at a cost of around 900 million and 20 million shillings Kisumu Market, which is almost complete, while the tendering process for 4 others is underway. This is in addition to a proposed industrial park cum aggregation center to be put up at Machanga Agricultural Mechanization Center in Behere South constituency at a cost of 500 million shillings. shillings.
And we are reaching out to the national government to give us more funds to do the extensions and the improvements that we have spoken about. We want also to tie it together with the place we are heading to called ENA.
The county is working with the national government to ensure the markets are tailor-made to meet the needs of the residents.
There will be consultations with the governors over how we manage the renovations of the ESP markets, how we collaborate with the national government, matters procurement and matters design, so that the designs that are done are tailor-made for the people of the resident counties or where the markets will be.
Kenya added that they have put in place plans to make use of open spaces in the market to put up ICT hubs for young people to work online, put up play areas for children and lactation rooms for breastfeeding mothers. Edna Murungi for Lunchtime News.
Further afield, rice trading in Thailand, the world's second largest rice exporter after India, has turned chaotic as India's recent ban on rice export touches off panic buying. Speculative holding is draining supply from the market, leaving less rice available for export. Thailand's domestic meal rice prices jumped nearly 20% to $597 per ton. Details of this and more in our news from around the world.
The panic buying has pushed the Thai export price for benchmark white rice 5%, which includes 5% broken rice, to $610 per ton, reflecting the rise in global prices, which surged to an 11-year high. Although the Thai government has no plans to limit rice exports, Thai exporters are still reluctant to sell due to uncertainty over supplies. Thailand, which normally produces around 20 million tons of rice, half the rice is consumed domestically and the other half is exported. India announced its rice export ban on July the 20th. The ban caused fears of falling stocks and encouraged major rice importers to seek rice from other key exporters, including Thailand and Vietnam. Hoarding is expected to push Thai rice prices to uncompetitive levels and rob Thailand of a golden opportunity to export more given India's absence from the international market. Elsewhere, Amazon will impose new fees on third-party sellers who ship their products to consumers instead of using the company's fulfillment service. Effective October the 1st, the company will get a 2% cut of every product sold by merchants that are members of Amazon's Seller Fulfilled Prime program, or a minimum of $0.25 per item. Launched in 2015, the Sellers Fulfilled Prime program allows merchants to display a Prime badge on their listings without using Amazon's fulfillment service. In return, sellers have to fulfill orders with 1-day and 2-day delivery at no additional charge for Prime customers who pay a monthly fee for faster shipping and other perks. Amazon suspended enrollment in the program a few years ago, saying it wasn't delivering the same high-quality experience customers expect from Prime. 2 months ago, the e-commerce company said it would reopen enrollment. Finally, small businesses in Poland are struggling for survival in the face of difficulties including high inflation and soaring operation costs. The Central Statistical Office of Poland released the latest inflation rate, which remained a double-digit growth, coming in at 10.8% in July year-on-year. Many small business owners have been suffering from high inflation over the years. The rising prices have led to less customers. To make things worse, business owners are hit by the soaring rent and electric bills.
Time to play. We begin with volleyball, where the national women's volleyball team Malkia Strikers will face Burkina Faso this afternoon in their second match as the 2023 African Nation Championship enters day 2 in Yaoundé, Cameroon. Coach Luizoma Di Moura is expected to field the same lineup that registered a 3-straight-set victory over Rwanda in the opening match. The tactician opted to start with middle blocker Triza Atuku for Belinda Barasa, while attacker Sharon Cheptumba, who is out injured, was replaced by Kenya pipeline youngster Luis Simiyu. Malkia Strikers are drawn in Pool B alongside Rwanda, neighbors Uganda, Morocco, Burkina Faso and Lesotho.
It's part of the process. The team will be improving match by match, and I do think we're going to achieve the goal we set for the team.
Krish Shah emerged the overall winner of the Kenya Junior Stroke Play Championship at the Muthaiga Golf Club. Shah won the tournament by 1 stroke at the end of a grueling 4 rounds. Going into the 4th round, he had 1 stroke lead over second place Mikael Kihara. Kihara and Iwan van Niekerk were tied for the lead, but Shah picked a birdie at number 15 with Iwan and Kihara playing level par. The 3 all played level par in hole 16 and 17, with Iwan finishing off with a birdie at number 18, while Shah and Kihara played a level par for the close finish.
After hole 14, hole 15, I came back, so after that it was fine, but it should have been much easier than I made it. Stress.
I definitely didn't hit anything off center in that front 9. I actually started, missed it left, saved par, and then brought it back to level. But after that, with a triple, double, and then bogey, I think he basically had gone with it, but I said it's not over till it's over, so just kept it going and saying that 6 is not a lot of shots, as you saw in the back 9.
Further afield, Manchester City added the UEFA Super Cup to the treble they claimed last season with a 5-4 victory over Sevilla on penalties in Athens, Greece. Pep Guardiola's Chargers lost the Community Shield to Arsenal in a shootout, but saw their fortunes transformed when Sevilla's Nemanja Gudek hit the bar after 9 successful penalties.
From Rodri's cross.
Rodri looks for Haaland. Off the crossbar.
It set up the tense finale that resulted in another piece of silverware being added to Guardiola's vast collection.
Very well, and before we wrap up, we now cross over to the great county of Nyamira, where our sister station Mando FM is celebrating 12 years of existence and good broadcasting.